And for more on this, we're being joined now by Brian Becker. He's the National Director for the Answer Coalition. Brian, good to see you this afternoon. So this upcoming summit will be the first full-fledged bilateral meeting between Trump and Putin, being hosted, as we know, in Helsinki, Finland. President Gerald Ford met Leonid Brezhnev there, and the Helsinki Accords came of that. Helsinki also hosted the first major summit between Bill Clinton and Boris Yeltsin after the fall of the USSR there. So this city has some historical significance. What role, if any, do you think does this location play on this upcoming summit?
A fairly minor role, but let's just assume that the two leaders have to come to a decision to meet somewhere. It's either going to be Moscow or Washington or a third city in a third country. Helsinki has the advantage of being a part of the tradition whereby summitry, that is the meetings between what was formerly the Soviet Union and later Russia and the United States, took place over decades. And let's not forget that starting in 1943, when Roosevelt met with Stalin at Tehran, and then the next year at Yalta, and then Truman met at Stalin at Potsdam, and then you had Eisenhower meeting with Khrushchev and Kennedy and Johnson. There's this long tradition. You would never know it based on the media sort of uproar over Putin meeting with Trump. But I think the choice of Helsinki is a reminder that this is something very normal between the leaders of Russia, or formerly the Soviet Union, and the United States.
No hidden message there.
Well, the only hidden message is this is normal. You're treating the media and the Democrats are treating this as something that's terrible, a threat, prospects of peace breaking out, as the Times of London said. And I think the Helsinki location does just that. It says this is part of normal diplomacy between the United States and Russia.
Diplomacy happens. Imagine that. Now, the date also falls about a month out from the meeting with Kim Jong-un, which you were at in Singapore, and days after the NATO summit that he'll be in Europe for. What can we expect him to say in terms of the heat that he'll be feeling from no doubt his NATO allies that are not very happy about him having this meeting?
Well, you know, I'm really wondering if the NATO allies are really that upset. Do the people in Germany really want to have aggravated confrontation between the U.S. and Russia? Do the people in France? Do the people in Italy? When you look at European public opinion, I don't think there's great alarm that Russia and the United States would be meeting. I think, in fact, the people of Europe hope that there would be a rapprochement, a détente, a normalization of relations. After all, if there was to be another war or a confrontation, on whose soil would it take place?
Sure.
The people of Europe know war. They know World War I. They know World War II. I think the peace sentiment there is actually stronger. This is the Western media, the corporate-owned media, saying NATO allies are scared to death because Putin are meeting with Trump. I don't think it reflects European opinion.
Really? I mean, we've seen Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron not seemingly too happy about Trump floating the idea of bringing Russia back into the folds of the G8. Do you think that's not a real sentiment?
Well, again, we can take the heads of state, Macron or Merkel. We also have to look at what's going on in Europe writ large. The European public, people in all the European countries, Western, Central, and Eastern Europe, I believe, in fact, want Russia and the United States, Russia and their own governments, to have peace, to have normal relations. And so if the leaders are complaining, I don't think they're really reflecting public opinion.
As we know, that's oftentimes not even the case here, and I think the 2016 elections proved just that. Thank you so much for sharing your insight and expertise with us. Brian Becker, National Director for the Answer Coalition.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.